Hey, you.
Hey, hey, how you doing?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm all dolled up or whatever.
We got a little dialed up a little bit, huh?
Yeah, a
All
little
right.
bit.
Ain't
So
nothing.
some things changed about this setup. Um,
Okay.
the light, as you can see, is still really, really bright. So I had to somewhat change the position of it. We're good though, right?
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
I see a little haze over your shoulder, but that's like an angel standing there, so it should
Hey,
be okay.
but you better stay on right there. Yes.
So we are live and we are in the broadcast room. We're about to get started. You guys, you know that I've been excited about this week because, there's so many things going on, and I wanted to take a moment to really like recenter, right? Because see, some people have this idea that you could have trauma today and just get over it tomorrow. Some people are in a situation right now where they're trying to figure out how to grieve in the middle of grief. We've had thousands of people die as a result of COVID, right? But this week we had a powder keg of situations going on all across the nation, but mainly out of Minneapolis, right? And then we also, it was kind of conjunction because, we had our brother Ahmaud Arbery, who had just died not too long ago, when a father and a son decided to take things in their own hand and chase him down and actually murder him. And he had just had an altercation only a few days earlier with a police officer who basically accosted him in the park because he was just chilling in the park, relaxing, not bothering anybody. Just said he wanted to breathe as well. And he said he was just getting away from his home so he could just pay attention and breathe. And he actually was a decorated veteran. Now, here's the thing: we had this big situation, right, where people were protesting all over, and then one of the protesters was shot by the police with real bullets here in America. You hear about that across the seas, but you don't usually hear about that in America, where you don't have the right to stand up for your rights. We grew up in a place where you could stand up and voice your opinion against the government or against the systems when you feel that they're not taking you into consideration. But what did we do? We had people all over, excited, ramped up, amped up, whatever you want to call it. Dr. King said, it's a powder keg, and they just want to be heard. And when they're in a situation like this, somewhere it has to give, and it gave over into the streets, and we saw that. And it takes us back to Oscar Grant. It takes us back to quite a few people, but this particular situation took us back to New York, right? And now here we are in Minneapolis, and we had a situation with Mr. Floyd. uh, so we want to give a just a moment of condolences for these lives that matter. I'm not saying a moment of silence because I don't think we need to be silent anymore. I believe that we need to stand up, we need to voice our opinion, but we need to do it in a righteous manner. We need to do it in a way that we think first and not just react. I talked about that before. E plus R equals O, right? The event you have no control over, but what you do have control over is whether you react or you respond. And I'm calling people to respond. Sit back for a second. Don't just go off. Figure out what is your actual strategy for your community. Are you going to gather up all the young men to one place? I mean, we do it for football, we do it for all these other sports. Why not do it for their lives? Bring them to a place and say, listen, here's how you must engage, because the other way is not getting you anywhere except 6 feet under. And unfortunately, today, when people die, there's so many other dead people, they don't even have a place to put you. Families are having a hard time even collecting their loved ones to give them a good send off. So we have to be aware of that. Now, I started off this because I want to make sure that we don't just jump into all this cool stuff and not take a moment to really think about the humanity that is lost. when someone's life is taken. I don't believe in the whole God took them away from the earth. No, the man did something wrong and took this life prematurely. Now, it's good that he can walk into the bosom and arms of the Lord, but it wasn't his time. And we need to stop preaching that and start teaching people how to respect life and support these people out there that's trying to do right in the community. But it's unfortunate for us that we're in a time where COVID 19, you know, there's this guy, he put out a song, said, a 19-year-old teenager has come to murder me. And I didn't understand what he was saying until I got to the end of the song. He was saying COVID 19 is a teenager. It hasn't grown up yet. The average age of the man who gave his life for this country was 19 in Vietnam. So 19 is a big number. But here's the thing. As a community, we must come together and figure some stuff out. And we cannot do it the way that we've always done it, because the way we've always done it just isn't working. Now, I want to shift gears. I want to talk about something. I want to talk about hope. I want to talk about love. I want to talk about light. I want to talk about possibility. I want to talk about dreams. I want to talk about ambition. I want to talk about passion. Passion wakes you up in the middle of the night. You can't let it go. See, I told you, I'm the host of this show, but I'm also the author of the book, No More Crumbs from the Table, where I celebrate people discovering their tag, their talent, their ability, their gift. And when you figure that out, you put it to work in the earth. And when you put it to work in the earth, it should bring you some type of profit. And that's where we got the name Passion to Profit TV, right? So we want profits. We want income coming from multiple streams. We want multiple places. We want you to be able to feel fulfilled. If you was on the first show, it was Rob Howes who said, you got to figure out how to have a fulfilled life, not just a life of average existence. And so that happens when you have a dream. So today, I invited someone who embraced their dream. It was months ago where I was involved with an organization and I was helping out behind the scenes, and I was saying, hey, and it was a presentation of gospel and Christian artists, and it was in DC. And as I was helping people to get to where they need to go, I brought them to the stage and make sure they had the right entrance and exit. I was just helping out. But I remember this one person who got on the stage and laid her hands on the piano and then opened her mouth. And when she opened her mouth, the sound was phenomenal. And afterwards, I thought, I don't know what my life is going to do, but there's some things that I'm working on. And if I get an opportunity, when I get an opportunity, I'm going to invite her to come and express it with my show. And so there's this amazing, inspirational singer, songwriter, producer, mom, wife, sister girl, cuz, all that kind of stuff, y'all. I want you to give it up. Put something out there on the chat. I'm gonna put up our comment box. So you guys, if you want to make a comment, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is go ahead and put that out there. And thank you, Tracy. You always there to participate. Thank you so much, Mr. Name Barlow. You guys are there all the time. I really appreciate it. But none other than Mioshe Trayel.
Hello. Can you hear me? I want to make sure we're good here.
We can hear you.
Awesome. Yes. Oh my gosh. This is such my pleasure to be here, to be a part of your vision and what God has placed in your heart to do. No better time than now. Yes, we do have a lot going on in the world, and tragedies all around us. But we can still find a way to bring the light through that darkness. And I
Yes.
appreciate you for having me here.
Yes, bringing light,
On this list.
out of the darkness. It was interesting because, we get taught, and God said, let there be light, but he didn't say it that way. He said,
Mhm.
light, be. He
Right.
just commanded it, and it was. So tell us, you got some things to bring to us today. You're going to share some information with us. You're going to
Yeah.
share also in song. But I mean, who are you? Why are you here? What are
Well,
you
you
made
gave a
of?
good introduction. I mean, but my name is Mioshe Trayel. I'm a singer, songwriter, and producer from Hampton, Virginia. I've been, in the music. I wouldn't say industry because that didn't come till later. But I've been doing music since a fairly young age, around maybe 4. Singing in the church choirs and school concerts and plays and everything like that. So I would say that's where things started developing for me. So
Now that's interesting. She said it started developing for her at 4. So, a lot of us, I remember my daughter, and I always tell the story that she was 2, and she had her mom's shoes on, and she had this brush, and she had this little thing, and she was just going at it, and I was like, this girl really knows she's saying something. We didn't have half of the
mhm.
words that she was saying, but we knew she
Oh,
knew what
she
she was
knew.
doing. She knew what she was doing. So you were 4 years old, and it was recognized. Take us back to 4 years old and how a mic was put into your hand. I mean, how did you even find the microphone? What happened?
It's almost like it was just a part of me, like I should have grown a microphone as an arm or something because, that confidence and everything, it was just there, and I've always just been ready to share the voice that God gave me, so.
So now, at 4 years old, do you remember? I remember the first song I sang in church, and it
Oh,
was pretty cool. Do you remember?
yes, and I'm kind of laughing because I don't remember all the words to it now, but so it's a song, and family always reminds me. Remember, you would get on the
I remember
stage and
you
sing.
was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a song. I moved from my old house and I moved from my old friends. I moved from my old way of life. Thank God I moved out. I don't know if it's moved out or moved back, but it's to a brand new life. And it goes, can't you
Awesome.
see? So I would be little,
Oh, you was
up
like,
there
I
like,
just see,
can't you
little tiny one,
see? And they would just, yes,
just
they would
fall
just
apart.
eat it up.
I'm
So I
sure they was
remember
loving
singing
it.
with the choir and being put like on the offering table, because I was little. So, just sitting up there and singing with choirs and just thinking back, it was amazing.
That's awesome. It's funny because we just do it, right?
Yeah,
It's only as we become adults that we start like guessing whether we should jump in or not.
isn't it? Yeah,
Maybe like in double dutch, trying to find the right moment, as
yeah.
opposed to when you're young, you can do anything and everything. If you say, "Hey, fly," you jumping
Childlike
off,
mind.
right? You're already jumping off the thing, and somebody better be there to catch you because you were just gonna hurt yourself because
Ready?
you
Yes.
really think you can fly, right? I believe, right? So
Hmm.
it's interesting because church. When you learn to start in the church, I think one of the things that happens is you get this immediate audience that encourages your gift, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
everybody's like rallies and says, "Go ahead now," even if you're off key, even if
Yeah.
you really don't know the
Sing it,
words.
baby.
Sing it, baby. Right? Yeah, you got old grandma over there. Go now, girl. I did it. Do it.
Yes.
Do it. Now. And then of course you got little deacon so yes, amen. Right. So you got
Hmm.
all that happening, and now you're excited. You're having a good time. the microphone is on, you are the star for the moment. But then after that, you got to go sit down.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that happens all the way through life, right? Where you're the
Absolutely.
star for the moment, but then there's a time where you have to go sit down. So let's talk about as you started moving into your teen years, through your, we call the awkward middle into the
Mhm.
teens. Did you continue to sing as a young child? Did you kind of drop the mic and like, "Pff, that's not really what I want to do," and then you rediscovered it? What happened?
You know what? Very good question, Brother Dwayne. So it had always been something that I love to do. However, sometimes, we have different obstacles in life that kind of hinder the or take away from that zeal, And so I was typical teenager, just trying to find my way in life, and I had actually a couple of opportunities to take my music to a higher place. And yep, Hampton in the house, hey. But yes, I had a couple of opportunities to take my music to the next level, but my confidence was broken in some areas over the years because we start comparing ourselves to other people, and um,
Hmm.
and nowadays people are looking for something greater than just being able to sing. you know
Yeah,
and when I say they're looking for that, it's the story behind the voice now that is where God can really touch people's hearts, and just speak to them, because with all
yeah.
this chaos and everything going around, um not too many of us are tuning into what the thus saith the Lord, And
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here preaching because I'm not a preacher, but I am very spiritual, and it's
Right.
part of my mission. I'm an inspirational artist. Um, so I do like to use the real time events that happen in life and speak about them, But I also
Yeah.
want to bring forth a message of hope, peace, love, a little bit of those things that you were mentioning earlier.
Hmm.
I feel like you have to, because then people can see um, how their story can be brought out for others to hear. With my
Yeah.
particular upbringing, I went through a lot of bullying. Actually, I just always felt like I had to, you know, this fight for something. you know, um,
Mhm.
I was always really like pushed around and got in situations where I was trying to fit in into things that I knew it wasn't going to work, But the thing about it is, you're not going to fit in when
Right.
God calls you. You're not
Yeah.
going to fit in, but it's a matter of time. The time that you give God to work with you, the easier. I mean, the quickest that it can be done, the
Hmm.
easiest it will be done. You know, um, for me, it took a little longer to finally say, okay, God, I'm done. I'm done
I
playing these
don't have
games
to
with
look
people.
outside anymore, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And now we can laugh about it. Later on we can laugh, but there was a lot of brokenness and rejections and heartbreaks and all that came with it.
Yeah,
So
I want to go back because I remember asking you. I said, "So, are you a Christian artist?" And you said, "I am, not so much, but what I am is an inspirational artist."
mhm,
And I love the word artist because art is very subjective, right? Everybody's not going to love what you do.
mhm,
However, you 100% have to love what you do.
absolutely.
And when you bring it out, you create a masterpiece at every single opportunity. And so
Yes.
your goal, your dream, your ambition is all built into, I'm going to create something as a creative that will impact people in a positive way because I want them to be inspired in spirit, right? In spirit,
Yes.
inspired is the same. It's how we got the word. And
Mhm,
so it's a eo, it's a ethos, right? Ethos. That's what they say,
mhm,
ethos. So it is connectedness. And so when you're in darkness, there's always some light somewhere. And what is so interesting in what you said is that, you've been through some dark situations
Mhm.
on your way to this light place. And it's consistently constant, right?
There
you
was
go through it and then you get through it and then you're like,
Get
another
through it,
one?
right? Back to back.
It's like I just thought I was going in the tunnel. I got out the tunnel and I realized I'm back in
A
the
bigger
tunnel.
one. A bigger
It's
one.
like I had no idea it just had a tunnel with a little bit of light. I was still in one, right? Yeah, yeah, a bigger one. And so some of us go through the tunnel of darkness and it looks like abuse.
Mm.
Some of us go through the tunnel of darkness and it looks like neglect. Some of us go through the tunnel and it looks like self mutilation.
Mm.
Some of us go through the dark tunnel and we can't put our finger on it. It's just dark.
It's just dark, yeah.
Tell me, tell us, tell the viewers, tell those that will watch it in the replay. What was one of those dark moments where a song was something you had to hold on to? I got a reflective moment right now about a song by Fred Hammond, but I want you to think about like what song, or was it your own song
Yeah.
or a melody
Mm.
that you had to hang on to get you from that dark place. Tell us about the darkness and then what
Yeah.
was the light? What was the light?
Okay, okay. Well, the darkness all stemmed from, just feeling alone in the world and basically trying to see who was going to take you in and who was going to give you that love that you felt like you never had, and so I've ran into situations of even sexual abuse, and from very close family member, that pretty much it cut a good hole somewhere, and like
Hmm.
I said, I'm more positive about it. I can smile about it and all that, because there's something that's called deliverance, but during those moments, you are in a dark place, and you're asking the Lord, like, is this what it's supposed to be? Like,
Hmm.
if it is, I don't want it, and then you find yourself into the self mutilization, I don't know if I said the word right, mutilation.
That's fine.
So okay,
Mutilation.
yeah, you
They'll
find
fix it up.
yourself,
They'll figure it out. They can spell it
yeah,
later. No.
yeah, I know, right? But you find yourself, at those places where you're bringing more harm on yourself,
Hmm.
because you know you're not where you need to be, but because of what has happened to you, it becomes a result, so I found myself running into this brick walls, and uh
Ooh,
there.
brick wall.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Wait. I
And
gotta slow you down. I told you I was gonna do this, right? I told you I might shift your gear a little bit. But like, hey, wait. Don't go past that brick wall, because brick, them brick walls, they sometimes come out. You be like, where'd that wall come from? So, and it shows up sometimes at the oddest moments because everything else seems to be working good. So tell us a little
okay,
bit. If you don't mind, go a little bit. Go deeper. Talk to us about that
okay.
wall and how that wall showed up, and you were like,
Well,
ah.
yeah. So when you're dealing with sexual abuse, or you have dealt with that, there's a part of your mind where you're confused. You don't know what's right, or you know what I mean, what's right or what's right for you. So you find yourself just chasing an illusion, chasing what
Mm,
feels right,
it feels right.
rather
Mm-hmm.
rather than seeking God. So for me, um, that was demonstrated more in a sexual manner, and I'm just being transparent here.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it started very young for me. It started at the age of about 14, when the sexual abuse started manifesting itself. And so
Hmm.
from there, I was basically, just wanting some type of support or something from it, that
Yeah.
I never really got. you know, I never got it in man. I
Yeah.
never could find it, in people, and so I got to a point where, like when you asked me about the songs and what was it that I held on to, I was always a singer. I was always a
Hmm.
singer. So it could be just a little melody or just something
Hmm.
that God just
Drop in your
connect,
spirit.
yeah, drops in my spirit, and He knew what I was saying, in those songs, even when I didn't necessarily have the words um, to say, you know.
Yeah.
And so as things started, as I started getting older, and still was scratching my head about a lot of things that was happening. Things started making sense when I started seeking God, and
Okay.
asking Him, okay, Lord, yes, now I know I did my share of what I should not have done, regardless of the reason, regardless of who did it, and why, or where it started or stemmed from. I had to face myself, you know, and
Wow.
and and say, okay, this is who you are. A lot of us want to put all that stuff behind us, which is what we need to do. But you still have to face your fears. You still have to face yourself, And so I came to a place of, Lord, take me as I am. Like I'm just a hot mess, like for real. And even the
You said
circle of
there's a
people.
message in this mess, though.
Mhm.
There's
But
a message in the mess.
yes, even the people that I was hanging around, it's weird because they were looking to me for some type of inspiration, but I
Hmm.
didn't have it at the time. So I was allowing them to pull me down, you know, to
Wow.
to worse situations. Look, come
Hmm.
over here
Hmm.
and come do this with us. Come and
Yeah, yeah,
things I ain't had no business doing, But
I
we
still
ain't
gotta be
gonna
like,
talk
Lord,
about
help me,
those brick
Jesus.
walls.
I had a brick wall not too long ago, so I can't even play. I don't
We
play with the
still
Lord about that stuff. I was like,
I'm
listen,
telling you,
help me
yeah. I
out.
mean, and this is that realness, that real place is where God uses you,
Yeah,
and you have to be ready to be real. If you're not ready to be real, then you got to go back and deal with whatever you have to deal with, and it's going to continue to be cycles for you. It's going to
hmm,
continue to be I mean, and of course, it's always going to be something you have to deal with in life,
yeah,
and I think that these things in life, they do make us stronger. Like this song that I'm going to play for you in a little bit here. I talk about that. I talk about use those things, Lord, to make me stronger. Use those things where I'm unashamed to talk about, because one thing about people is they will use those things against you,
yes.
especially when you start getting to a higher place and God starts elevating you. They're like, oh girl, I don't know who you think you are now, but I remember. And I'm
Yeah, they
like,
start trying to throw those memories in.
trying to
Yeah.
throw them in there for what? For what?
Hmm.
Because if they're not celebrating you, then the only other reason would be for what? Trying to bring you back down, trying to pull you
Yeah.
back into it. So yeah.
Well, see, you said a couple of things, and I want to kind of take us back a little bit. And one of them is this idea of facing ourselves, looking in the mirror. Michael Jackson had a really great song. He said, "I'm starting with the man in the mirror," because he was looking at all the situation. Now, a lot of people don't know he had the record, and I think he still holds the world record for
Mm,
giving away his wealth. He was giving, 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 and he had the
yeah.
world record for giving. And he said, I'm going to make a change for once in my life, right? It's going to feel real good. It's going to make a difference. And he
Mhm.
said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. A
Yes.
lot of times we want God to come do something.
Mm.
We want the universe to shower us with stuff.
The planets to line up and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We got to get the star. People like, Okay, stars, come on now. We've been holding on to rocks. I'm gonna hold on to the rock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Rubbing them together.
rubbing crystals. Woo. Yeah, right. All this kind of stuff outside of us. All this stuff that's external
External.
versus
Wow.
the internal
God, that's
excellence,
within you.
the internal greatness, and reason why we most of us endure so much is because we have so much in us. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so I love the way you talked about facing your own inner self. You had to come to grips with this. Who am I? What am I? And you know what? You also had to do this. Okay, surrender. Right?
Surrender.
I am who I am. Take me as I am. And I
Hmm.
think this world we have internet stars and movie stars and social media highlight. I mean, people from like out of obscurity they become social media phenomenons, right? Just by posting and stuff on Instagram and all this kind of stuff. And so
Yeah.
when people can't make it, they try it all. They look at Joe Blow doing it and they go, "Ooh, I can do the same thing," and then it doesn't work for them,
Hmm.
and then they feel like they're worthless. They
Yeah.
feel like a failure. You know, you said something else that I want to make sure we don't, trip over too quickly, and it's this idea that, you know, at one point in time, even through the abuse, you were like, I'm looking for, I'm looking for something. There's got to be something better. There has to be something that's not this that I'm dealing with.
Avoid. Hmm.
Yeah, and so it's like, what's gonna fill it? How can I, right? And I think about my own life Lord Jesus, confessions. I I
Let's keep it
constantly
real, right?
yeah, and that's the third thing I want to say. You talk about authenticity. I struggle with like making sure that I am authentic. I was like, okay, is this the real me that's thinking this way? And am I putting on the front for the people? You know what I mean? No, I need to
Hmm.
make sure that if I show up for, whatever this is, I'm not showing up for hand claps. I'm not showing up for high fives. I'm showing up because I care. I'm showing up because I'm there. I'm showing up because of whatever. And so a lot of times we have to look at how are we consistently showing up. Are we real? And I love how you
Yeah.
said that. Let's be real. So you said you had a little something something to
I
uh
do.
to do, and I hope you do like I saw you do. You just kind of like laid your fingers on the thing, and this all kind of music just kind of started coming through. I
Listen,
don't
no.
think I didn't see a whole lot of I didn't see a whole lot of fingers
You
moving. I just saw the
you know
hands kind of.
what? It's something because you got those people that are, especially when they sing, you got some singers that are
Oh,
but
wait. Oh, that was the other thing.
we don't.
You just reminded. Hold up. Hold that thought. Do that again.
No, I can't do it again.
I'm gonna do it for you.
Right. And then you have some that are just really just like, I'm not even gonna mess it up and do it on the key. But
I
just
could
all of
not.
it, and that's great. That's great.
Girl, I was trying
However,
it though. I was trying to do boys and men on my. I'm like, I even did the neck move and everything, and it just Stevie Wonder wasn't coming through. I was like,
no,
come on,
no,
Stevie, help me out.
I'm gonna tell you what got me growing up. I used to think I couldn't sing because my jaw didn't move when I saw. You know how yes, the choir is
Algebra.
whoa, and so I would get so intimidated by that. I was about to call it a spirit. It ain't.
It probably was getting on you like, what in the world is this? Oh no. Yeah, I was in a choir, and I was the lead singer and everything. So a lot of times I didn't really pay attention to notes and all that because I'm like, I got the mic, so I can go
Yeah,
wherever I want to
I
go.
can go where I want. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yes, you said you got something for us.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna
this
be quiet and let you do something.
I want to make sure y'all can hear it. Can you hear me? Can you hear the
Yes.
keyboard? All right.
Yes.
So this song, this song stems from a lot of the abuse, that I went through in my life, and it's a really old song. It's about 10 plus years old, but it always ministers to me first, and then when I share with others, that's when I'm able to see other people's lives touched by it. I'm like, oh, you feel that too, so that's why it's important for us to share our stories with others and to get it out, because God is using you. God is using us for a time such as this
Yes.
to to share that. Okay. All right. So
Cool.
this song is called "As I Am."
Hey, baby. Let Brittany's here. My daughter's here.
Here I am. Take me as I am, but please make me over. All the pain and heartache life may bring, just use it all to make me stronger. Anybody can relate? See, I don't know how I could choose to live my life without you. When I thought I knew it all, here I am running back to you. If you would just take me as I am, make me over again, brand new. I need to be renewed. Would you restore my joy with outstretched hand? As empty as I am, I still surrender all to you. Because your grace has brought me to this place. See, I'm at a loss for words, but can I say thank you? And now I'm ready to prove in all that I do that I dedicate my life, and my whole heart belongs to you. If you would just take me as I am, make me over again, brand new. I need to be renewed. Will you restore my joy? That's just a little bit of it.
That's just a little. She's so humble, right? She's so humble. Be humble. Be humble. Yes. Oh man. Grace brought me through. that, grace brought me through, made me brand new. Um, just like, tell me, what was you? Where were you? What was going on? Where were you?
Ooh, well, it definitely takes a place of gratitude, because when you're broken, you're just feeling all this woe is me, like, I don't want to be here. But I'm gonna fake it. I'm gonna act like I'm happy here, and so you just kind of go through the motions and things. But something about just being real and true to God and saying, Lord, I'm here. I know you have something better for me, because God has made some promises in His Word, of what He wants out of our lives. He came that we may have life and have it more abundantly. So where is this abundant life going to come from in the middle of
Yeah.
this right here? So I started with a place of thank you so much. I started with a place of gratefulness, saying, Lord, I don't know why you have me here, but thank you. And
Mm.
in all things, I'm going to give thanks to the Lord for being in this place, because while you're saying why me, He's saying why not you. Why
Ooh,
not?
hold on. Slow down on that one right there because this is a hard one.
Yeah.
We go through things,
Mm.
abuse. Sexual abuse is probably the closest abuse. In my mind, I can't think of any other abuse that's closer than sexual because it's someone connecting to your body in a way that just there's nothing else like it, right? Uh, and we have to find good in that. We have to find God in that. We have to find hope in that. We have to find a way to take it and work out the glory of
Work
it.
out the glory. Come on. Come on. You're getting there.
I it's because you could be very angry and be a very angry woman.
Yeah,
You
better.
have beautiful children. You have children. So how would you treat your children if your anger for what happened to you as a child has not been
Dealt with.
rectified
Yeah.
and dealt with, right? Because now you have a son. 'Cause I don't know if it's a male or female that abused you, but because it could have been both. Because I know someone who was abused by grandma and grandpa.
Mhm.
Grandma and grandpa, the closest people that's supposed to love you, right?
Mhm.
So besides mom and dad, right? And so here we are trying to squeeze out goodness in this ugly, nasty, dirty rag.
Right.
But God gives us the grace. You said grace brought me. It was the grace, that mercy and grace. It's so beautiful because you don't have to do anything to deserve it.
Yeah.
You just get it, right? If you get Him, you get it. It's like
Right.
it's part. It comes with the package. It's part. Tell me, tell me, like when you first sang the song. I don't know how you felt after you finally birthed it because sometimes you could carry a song for a long time,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
that's what happened.
So tell us
Yeah.
about how you birthed. Like what was this? What was the situation that was like? You know what?
Well, I'm gonna
I got to
tell
birth.
you. I started I got to a point after I wrote the song, I started sharing it, with people. It started just at home, family and friends. And I'm seeing aunties and stuff crying, and people were touched by that little bit that I just, that song I
Hmm.
just did. And once I saw that people were actually being touched by the song, and I was getting a different type of response that I wasn't expecting. When you just sing a song or whatever, of course God is using you to sing the song, but you don't know how deep it is.
Yeah.
So So
Yeah.
yeah, I was seeing people's lives were changed,
Wow.
by
By
the
what's
songs
coming
I
out
was
of your
singing.
mouth.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm still pretty young, so I was still in my teenage years and things when I would do that. And so that's when it started kind of hitting home, like, okay, you can't throw this away because
Right.
this ain't for you.
That is so wonderful. I know we don't have like a 2 hour show. We only have an hour show. So I would love if you had something else that you can tickle the ivories with, or even if it's something, I call it Acapulco. I
Hmm.
know it's acapella, but Acapulco. If there was anything that you can just go ahead and bless us with again, I would really appreciate that because I don't want to run out of time because I do have two other things I really want us to talk about.
Okay, let me see. Trying to think of the song.
That's okay.
Let me see.
You know, a lot of people they can't do it. They have to have it all set up, but you are able to draw it down. So that's okay. Take your time.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. This song just came to me. Give thanks with a
Great.
grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong.
Ooh.
Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks.
Keep going. I'm trying to come with you. And
Go on now.
now
Yes.
let the weak
Let
say
the
I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich because of
weak
what
because of
the
what?
Lord has done for us.
Yes.
Oh wow,
Give
you know, I haven't heard that in a
thanks.
long time, Miyoshi. I
I
have
know
not
it
heard
just
that in a
came out of
long time.
nowhere.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's old school. See, some people don't even know that one right there. They don't even know. Um,
Yes.
you know, you're blessing us. Someone said, Danae said, thank you for blessing us with your words and beautiful song.
Thank you.
Tracy
Glory to
said,
God.
beautiful. Thank you
Glory
for sharing your words, your story, inspired and encouraged as I get open about sharing my story. See, I love
Amen.
that. Tracy, that is so
I
powerful
cannot
what you
wait to
just said
hear it.
right there. All right.
Amen.
Because when someone empowers you to tell your story, you feel that it's
Yes.
not my story, but it's his. And yes, his being God's way of loving us, God's way of, you know, and of course we had some other accolades earlier. My daughter's actually in here, Brittany Ross, shout out,
Hey,
love you, baby.
Brittany.
Giving hand claps and things. So as we come to the end, some big news came today, right, for
Oh yeah.
you. And, we didn't
God
even
is just
talk
always
about
busy.
some really cool news came for you. And I'm really just so thankful to get to know you a little bit better. I met you through Divine Concept Group, of course, through Erica. And, I've been working with them since Erica conceived the idea when she used to work for the Virginia School. That's
Mm.
how long we go back, when the Virginia
And
School
I
was
love
open
me
and we
some
worked
her.
there.
My God.
She's my sister in spirit. Like, she's that sister that I know that if I really am in a bad place, all I got to do is reach
Yeah.
out to her.
No
So,
judging, no nothing.
no,
Just
no judgment, just straight
mm,
love.
yeah.
And she's always smiling, and she's always got a word of God and encouragement. So
Ready. Just
I'm
ready
working
for
with
you.
her. Yeah, I work with the Men of Power, and we actually had a meeting last night with Fred, and Alvin tried to show up too, but he had some technical difficulties. But anyway, um, tell us about this news, and then tell us how people find you, what you're doing right now. You just had a new. I'll let you tell it. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. Well, long story short, I started my own record label back in 2013. Didn't know what I was really gonna do with this label, and this came from, that frustration of running to people and they
Hmm.
rejecting and it's just not working out. So I said, well, I'm gonna start my own label then, okay?
Hey, amen, amens, and
Y'all ain't
amens
gotta
again.
call me. You ain't gotta call me, So
Like this.
um,
Let me Google this. Let me Google this.
I'm
See.
just saying because for some reason I have been around people who feel like you really gotta be like the jaw movement stuff we were talking about earlier. Like, whoa, you ain't gotta do all that. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
no,
So
no.
y'all are the ones that are scaring folks from,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, achieving what
Going
they need
after
to.
it.
Yeah, so long story short, look, I can get into talking all day, but I started this record label, and God is showing me that He started this record label. It's not even about me, like I
They're
said.
calling you
And
boss lady.
oh my gosh, thank you, glory to God, glory to God.
So
But
God started it. Okay, go
yes,
ahead.
He did, and so now I am just in the presence of greatness and people. I've had the privilege of going on a radio tour this year with my song "As I Am." It's available on all platforms, and it is, out there for anybody that wants to purchase it. But thank God, like I said, doors were opening in that regard of radio, and I've gotten to see what that feels like. And so the thing is, I'm really seeing that God he's elevating me because there's some folks that's supposed to come under my label. So that
Yes.
part hasn't been revealed yet, but it's coming,
Hey.
and I'm ready for it. But He's getting me ready as far as lining up these nuggets, so that when they do
Yeah.
come along, I'll be able to take them on in and love on them and say, "Hey, baby, this is how you do it."
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for that. So today I got a call from one of my radio friends, but this person actually does more than radio. They are inspiring artists of themselves, musician. They could probably get up on here and do part two. I'm telling you, and shut it down,
Yeah,
shut it down. But
yeah,
yeah, he's like this. I want you on my team, sis. And he has his own artistry. Like I said, he's doing that separately,
yeah.
but
Hmm.
his main thing is growing artists and
Yes.
getting them the exposure that they need, and he
Yes.
has a heart to do that and asked me to do it with him. I
Hey, hey.
said, what? Yes.
Cultivation. Cultivate.
Man. And so
Cultivate.
he was like, sis, I know you have your label and everything. And I was
He
just
was like,
melting. He said,
that's like,
so how about you just start off kind of under mine and I'll teach you everything you need to know with this and that. And then eventually you could branch off whenever you're ready and do your own
wow.
thing. So I will be an A&R, and I will be able to bring up some other upcoming artists, musicians who have an aspiration rather to do this.
Aspiration to do this. Hmm.
Yes, and I am so excited. I'm so beyond excited to do that.
That is phenomenal. When you told me, I was like jumping in my skin because When I was in my late 20s, I was in a group called FCC, Funky Cold Concept, and we
Mhm.
had just performed at the Roxy, and we did a really good job and everything. And we were trying to get a deal with Perspective Records or Arista Records, and we was invited to Arista Records. And when we got
Mhm.
invited to Arista Records, we went inside and we were looking at all the stuff, Babyface on the wall and all these other people, and it was
Yeah.
like surreal, right? And then they brought me in a different room. They had us. It was three of us, and it was a rapper, a musician, and I was just a vocalist at the time. I was just doing vocals. I didn't write. I had wrote two
Yeah.
songs, but anyway, brought me in this room and they said, "We want to keep you, but we want to let them go." And I just remember saying, "No, no, no, that we can't do that. I
Yeah.
can't do that. I
Breaking
can't
the
leave
group up.
Isom and I can't leave George. George Cabu, he was the rapper, and we had this
Yeah.
jazz fusion thing going. It was kind of like an
Mhm.
R&B jazz tip, right? And
Mhm.
I just remember walking out of that room thinking, I hope I did the right thing. Now, over the years, I learned that that happens to a lot of artists, where you
Yeah.
get people who would break up the group or tell one person against the other or something. What I see happening with you, you're going to be able to nurture people in a way that guides them in a righteous manner.
Amen. Yeah,
You
that's
know
the
what I
goal. It's
mean?
kingdom building. Definitely
Yes,
kingdom.
because they're going to be looking for the same thing, but they're going to get from you this genuineness and what we talked about earlier, that authenticity
Mhm.
about your relationship with God and your openness to share your wounds.
Yeah.
We have 6 minutes left in the show, and I just I I want to hear you sing one more song.
You know what now?
Even if you don't sing a song, even if you don't do a whole song, I really want to hear you do the Lord's Prayer. Do you do the Lord's Prayer at all?
Hmm.
Our Father who art
It's
in
been
heaven,
a
any
little
part of
while.
it?
Let me do a little bit of it a cappella for you. Let's see.
That came to my head, but I believe it was in my heart earlier
Mhm.
when I started the show, because I started the
Mm.
show reminding people of Mr. Floyd, Mr. Aubrey, and the
Yes.
fact that we lost a young man in Detroit in the streets just
Mhm.
protesting. And so, as we prepare to end the show, um, people, like we said earlier, they're looking for hope. They're
Yeah.
looking for, they're reaching. And I remember this song that says, if we are the body, why aren't our hands reaching? Why
Mhm.
aren't our feet going? Because if
Mhm.
we're the body of Christ, if we're the body, then we should
Yeah.
be doing the work out in the
Serve a
streets.
purpose. Yeah.
The work
Mhm.
is not behind the building inside the church building. It's us out in the trenches, out making a difference, out helping a young man keep his life today.
Yeah.
The Lord's Prayer, any piece of it. Doesn't have to be the whole piece,
Let's
just
see.
whatever you have.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine does it. Whew.
God bless you.
God bless you.
You guys out there in the community, there's people hurting. There's hearts heavy. There are there's mass confusion.
Yes, Lord.
There's a lot of negativity, but there's positivity. There's
Mm,
darkness, but there's always light. There's stress, and then there's stress relievers. There's pain, but then there's love. We are the body. We are the hands. We are the feet. We are the lips. We are the eyes. I heard that it was finished.
me too, yeah.
Finished means I don't need to come back and do anything else.
Mhm.
Finished means I gave you what you need. Now go for it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you have a passion. You have dreams, ambitions, and goals. If you're living for something on purpose, you really don't have a lot of time for negativity and all that other stuff.
Mhm.
But if you know someone who's struggling, reach out to them. If you know someone who's lost a loved one because of this COVID-19, reach out to them. Send
Yes.
a card, send a letter, send a rose. Do something, do something, do something. But be strategic, be thoughtful, be responsive, not reactive. I'm Dwayne-Ross, the host of this show, Passions to Profits TV, also the author of the book No More Crumbs from the Table, where I help you discover your dreams, right? And you take and discover your tag, your talent, your ability, your gift, and put it to work in the earth. There's room for you. Greatness is waiting to be inspired. Let's give a hand. Let's give a thank you. Let's give a warm amen, whatever you can put in the comment section to Miss Mioshe Trayel.
Thank
You can find her at
you.
mioshetrayel.com. That information is actually on YouTube. I already put that out there on YouTube. I'll be
Mhm.
putting some information out there as well on Facebook. This will be, you can do a repeat. You can also share and like and let other people make comments. Send it out. Just get the word out. This is show number 8. I can't believe I've
Look
been doing
at
this for
you.
two whole months, right? It's just
Yes.
blowing my mind because it was just a thought, and I'm walking in this thought again. And I've been there before where I took a thought and took it all the way through.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing what's happening. I want to say thank you so much for saying
Thank
yes
you.
when I
Thank you for
called
letting
you.
God use you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
And I appreciate the love that you give to the world. The love that you give to your children is evident. The love you give to your husband is evident. The love that you share with your sister girls is evident. I remember after the show we were at IHOP,
Oh, in
and
DC, yeah. And we
we
let
were,
our hair down, didn't we?
we were acting like 12-year-olds and 17-year-olds, right? Having a ball, getting all
But
kinds of
it
stuff.
drew people in. They were like, okay, I need to be over
Came
here.
over, they wanted to say, "What y'all doing over here?" Because we were having so
Yeah.
much fun. And you started singing, and we started singing, and Rhonda started singing. I think everybody was just
And
like,
that
"Yes."
harmony was tight, wasn't it? That
Harmony was
harmony was
tight.
tight.
We had a
I
great
was like,
time.
let me find out.
So anyway, I want to say, let's look for your. Tell us the name of your single again. As I
Okay.
am.
Yes, the single is called As I Am. The album is called Love Again. And this album, you'll get some stories. You'll just feel that transparency. I couldn't get the word, that transparency of a lot of the things I discussed here tonight. And it really circles around self-love. So I feel like I have to be an advocate for that, and just help the world see. And even with this racism and everything that we're doing, going through right now, if everybody would just get that self love, we wouldn't have all this other extra stuff worrying about what's going on with, he and she and they. So please, yes, go check out the album. It's called Love Again. Thank y'all so much. I see your comments coming in. Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, it is that time again for me to say we'll see you next week, and I'll see you on the next page, the next post, the next YouTube live, the next Facebook live, the next stream, dream stream, or wherever you see me, I'll see you. And please stay well and live your passion, man. If you could figure out a way to do your passion every day, you never have to work another day in your life. Take the
Amen.
time to figure it out and then be about it. Don't just talk about it. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you again. And we'll come back again. Hopefully, we'll see you in a couple of months. We want to see what you've done with some of your artists. Maybe you can bring an artist or two
Yes,
on and you can
yes.
share where you are in your journey and let us know about that new book you're probably going to write.
Look, I'm gonna talk to you on another note because it's coming.
I'm about to help you now if you need help. All right. If you guys need help for your writing your own story, self publishing, go to Dwayne-Ross.com, Dwayne-Ross.com, and get a 30-minute free consultation with me. I'm still taking clients. I got a 6-book deal right now I'm working on, and I have room for 4 more. So we only take 10 at a time. But reach out to me, and I can help you. Take care of yourself. Be blessed,
Yeah.
and we'll see you. See you,
Bye.
Miyoshi. All right.
Alrighty.
Take care now. All right, you guys, this is Dwayne-Ross, and I'm about to sign off. I just want to say thank you for everybody in the comment section. Thank you in the chat area. Thank you on Facebook. Thank you on YouTube. And we will see you next week, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. I will be announcing, I don't tell you in advance who my guests are, but I have some really cool guests coming up dealing with your health, some real serious tips about how to stay as healthy as your body can be during this COVID epidemic, because you want to have yourself in a place of high pH. And there are certain fruits and vegetables and water and probiotics and kombucha and some other things like that, that if you just go ahead and put these things into your body, you will probably have a better situation. And then, it's not like if you're a vegan, you're immune, or if you're not eating meat, you're immune. That's not how it works. However, I have a few people on the burner in reference to changing your food and eating the right food so that your body can have what it needs to fight. All right. Thank you again. And you guys have a great evening. We'll see you next time. Now, if I could just figure out which button to push.